people can say all they want. You know what I mean? But if you're drinking, you really have to make that choice yourself. And sometimes it's not your choice. With me, I would have wake-up calls, and then I'm in the hospital and I have a 10% chance of living. Coming out
You're
swinging.
back, baby.
Yeah,
Just give you some, man.
Yeah,
it's
good to be back.
it's
Help.
good.
I had a drinking fan base. I still do, which is fine.
Yeah.
But like my shows would get so rowdy. I was drinking easily a bottle and a half of vodka a day.
A fifth.
Yeah, and that's easily. If you come to the show, like, try to maintain a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not Slipknot. You know what I mean? Where it's like fucking just chaos. And I only say that, shout out to Slipknot, because I did a show. It was in Orlando, and I walk into the venue, and I was there the night after Slipknot, and the people were like, oh, thank God. So I'm backstage, and they have big, big murals of like the Lion King, Phantom of the Opera, and all these shows. And they go, oh yeah, this is a Performance Arts Center. And I'm like, it's what? Okay, do you guys have like security? And he was like, no. I mean, we have ushers. I'm like, how old are they? And they're like, you know, they're volunteers, and it's like old like ladies and stuff that are used to doing the Lion King for musicals.
The median age is like 84 for an usher.
Exactly. Yeah. So I was like, oh no. And then, of course, show comes, people are rowdy. My fans will come in hot. And they were, he's like, okay, no, it'll be fine.
As in, like, sweating because they're on cocaine. They're literally overheating and having strokes.
I had to stop the show because there was a fist fight, girl fight.
Love.
In the balcony.
Your shows are like Spirit Airlines.
Oh, it's amazing. Yeah, totally. Show's great. I love Florida. Get off stage, and the guy comes back, and he's like, yeah, man, you weren't wrong. Yeah, that was, yeah, we weren't ready for that. And I go, I told you, man. Yeah.
I love girl fight. I watched that documentary about that, the female boxer, like one of the greatest female boxers on Untold on Netflix, and it was
Is it Brendan Schaub?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Fucking Schaub, just sitting there. Fucking Schaub, thief or Sutherland.
Yeah,
Good
dude.
God, that's what I call him.
Dang,
No,
bro.
I'm kidding. There was a bit about Schaub, like I guess he said people say he stole some fajita joke from me.
Did he?
I don't care. It was just funny. I know Brendan. I don't care if he did, but I doubt it. I mean, he's had fajitas.
Didn't you have a thing where you went to order Chinese food or something once?
Yeah, I
and
almost
some
got
guys...
attacked. And this is a Saturday afternoon.
Yeah.
And I drive my rental car, park in the lot. It's pretty empty.
Yeah.
Again, Saturday afternoon. Pickup truck, 5 guys in the back. And they just yelled, Chinese food is for at me. Dude, you're such a bitch. You're a bitch. You're a bitch boy. I thought they were joking, obviously.
Yeah, yeah.
So I did this. I was like, yeah, like whatever. And they were like, what motherfucker? What the fuck? Hey, fuck you. You want to fucking eat me out? Yeah, you're a bitch boy, huh? Yeah. You got a pussy lip. You want to fucking eat me out? That's what I say to their family reunion.
Whoa.
And then I ran into the restaurant, and it was just 2 really old Chinese ladies working, like in their 80s.
And were they gay?
I don't know.
Because Chinese food is for...
You know, you live and you learn, and I don't look back on my life, and you know, I don't do as much like drinking jokes and like being drunk. So I don't drink like I used to. Right. Like there was a point where I'm like, how many drinking jokes? But I still like have like new fart jokes and stuff.
Yeah, of course.
I just talked about fartlings. Farting on Harlan Williams' podcast for
you did?
an hour. Yeah, so let's just fill the listeners in on our movie Back in the Day that we did.
Oh, yeah. We did a movie called Back in the Day.
With our friend Michael Rosenbaum.
Will the fart jokes ever end?
I don't even know how to answer that. You know what I mean? Just waiting to get drilled. I don't know where my comedy will take me. This is the Einstein fart.
Oh, wow.
It's really smart. Yeah. It's a very
smart
knowledgeable fart.
It's a smart fart.
Yeah, it's a smart fart.
Yeah.
And that's our trilogy. That's the other one after anal.
Yeah, ghosts.
Anal ghosts haunting.
I like when people pretend like they don't smell it. That's my favorite. When they go, I don't smell it.
Or if you say somebody farted and then people act like they smell it. I'll be like, oh, who did that? And somebody will be like, Oh, come on, man. But nobody did.
So-
That's another fucking mind fuck. This is based on the cast of Falcon Crest.
Whoa.
So Falcon Crest was a show in the 80s.
Yeah.
You can Google it. I don't lie.
I mean, we're-
Falcon Crest. I just tried to guess the answer. What's the question? Am I right?
Well, let's see.
When your ass is in a good mood and it just wants to just be cool. You know what I mean? It doesn't
Right.
stink.
Right.
It just comes out very amicable.
Yeah.
And you know, you're at a party, wants to be involved. So it'll just go, hi. A lot of people don't know this, but if you walk around Whitney's home, she broke into a Mayan temple and stole a bunch of pottery that would break if you farted on it.
Well, let's move off of farts because
Yeah,
I know.
I can't let that identify me. If you've lost a parent, I had heard what it was like. You know, people are like, "Oh, I lost my mom," and I'm like, "Oh, it's awful." And they were like, "Yeah." They're like, "Have you lost a parent?" At the time, I was like, "No." And they're like, "It's so awful and jarring that whether or not you got along with it, whatever it is, it's weird to just know that." That side of you, you know, mother or father, is gone.
Yeah.
My sister-in-law died pretty unexpectedly. And then another friend died. And then 2 friends committed suicide. And that's a real wrench, you know what I mean? Which is an understatement.
This happened all before and during?
It happened during. Well, Brody Stevens killed himself beginning of the year. And then my friend Mark killed himself. And that manifested even harder because when Brody had taken his life, I was sober and filming, and it was awful. And that lasted for like a couple of years. But I didn't really like drinking lose it, you know? I didn't turn to the bottle. And then when I drank over the summer with all that death around me, and then Brody's thing hit again, it was just an eye of the storm, you know? You know, somebody that you know was so vivacious and hungry and loved life and who they were. And
Was he still able to keep up with his writing in a sense? Like, did he try to record things or do anything?
He had to stop breakdancing. That was one thing that was really hard. He did it up until the end. He did one last head spin, and then he was taken. I would just get in these ruts where I was like, okay, I need a couple drinks, and then I would have a couple, and then I would just keep going, you know.
So I know you're a Minnesota guy, but outside of that, I don't know much about your upbringing. So let's talk a little
That'd
bit.
be fucking disturbing.
About it.
If you were like, in 2nd grade, I remember watching you on the playground. You don't know my origin story?
I don't know your origin story. I don't know. I know you're. I always assumed you're East Coast Boston, but I don't know if that's real.
No, I'm Midwest, Minnesota.
Minnesota.
It's totally normal to have a couple of beers, you know, in the morning-ish, right?
With
and then
cereal.
Have, yeah,
You
and then
just
have
pour the beer in your cereal.
Frosted Flakes, and then have like
Pickleback.
13 beers at lunch or dinner, and just drink through the night until you go to bed. I mean, it's like that is a very normal way to live and drink in the Midwest.
Yeah, that's what's really funny because when at the peak of my drinking, I remember people would be like, they would look at me like horrified. They're like, how can you just keep drinking like that? I'm like, I'm from Minnesota. And then most of the time be like, oh, then it gets dangerous. And I went to that territory where I was drinking really heavy and not in a good mindset. So, I mean, I've drank on and off for years and years. So it wasn't like...
I mean, it's very hard to use the term alcoholic. Do you think there's no doubt you were an alcoholic, or is it just you? No, I'm the guy who likes to drink, but I could stop and I could do this. Or do you just say, no, I'm a fucking alcoholic?
Yeah, that's a common question, and I feel like there are different levels of it. So I would say I'm an alcoholic to a degree because I can still... I mean, I just quit cold turkey, and I go to bars almost every day. I had one drink over the last like 2.5 months.
Wow, that's great.
But I'm gonna like drink again. It's great being busy.
Yeah.
With movies and stuff and touring, but so I just don't want to. I just have a lot to do, and I don't want to like
clean
fuck
it
around.
out.
Did you like stop 4 months ago because of a bad decision?
No. So 4 months ago, I was in the hospital. So I was hospitalized. I drank the entire summer by choice really heavily. For people that don't know, I almost died. I was in the hospital in Denver, and I was there for 3.5 weeks. So I was like, you know what? I had pitched a TV show in the spring. They didn't get it. And I was like talking to my other creator, and I'm like, I'll just pay for this on my own. I'll just pay for the pilot. And he was like, okay. And he kind of flaked out a little bit. And then I was just really frustrated.
With Comedy Central, I would develop all these shows and they would fall by the wayside. So I was working so hard. And so finally at that point, I was like, fuck this. Fuck this. I'm going to get fucking drunk as much as I fucking can. So I took a whole summer.
I went on the summer bender and it bled into the fall. Now we're in September and I am in my hotel in Minneapolis and I start throwing up bile all over the place, which is not uncommon.
Are you drunk at this point?
No, I just woke up. We get to the airport. I go to the computer to get my ticket. I throw up in the trash can. Then I go to the bar, get a drink. So I'm like, let's drink through it. Throw that up. I'm like, fuck. Now the pain's like on fire in my body. So I get on the plane, throw up in the plane, in the bathroom. Then I'm sitting at window seat.
So I go, oh shit. And so I have to throw up, but I didn't want to bother this guy. So I took my carry-on and threw up into it. You did not. Yeah, I threw up the cocktail. And then I put it down. Yeah, this is how fucking bonkers I am. I go, can I get another cocktail? They give me another one.
So I call my agent and I'm like, dude, I've got to go to the urgent care. Like, this is like bad. And he's like, really? And he's been my agent for 20 years. So I go, yeah. So this is like a funny part because life's funny. I pull up urgent care by the Denver airport and I found one that was like a mile away. I'm like, okay, great. And then I noticed it had 1 star.
I'm like, what the fuck? How do you fuck up an urgent care? Like, it was insane.
Clearly, they're not urgent about caring. They have 1 star. I'm like, am I going to go in and be like, yeah, I think I drank too much. And they walk out with like a sex change. I'm like, no, I have a pussy now? No, I just said I have a drinking problem.
I go, hey, I just need to talk to a doctor. And she goes, oh, no, you need an ambulance. So I needed an ambulance. They called me an ambulance, and I went to the fucking thing.
You got ambulanced out of the airport?
Yeah.
Where does it pick you up, at departures or arrivals?
I don't remember, but I think I think it was departures because they thought I was going to heaven.
Oh, damn.
They're like, hey, and I go, I think I'm fine. And they're like, no. And they're like looking at me. They're like, do you know where you are? They asked me all these questions. Because another thing is when you drink in altitude, I went into an altitude.
Oh, that's right.
So that hit me hard. But then I could answer all these questions. And the guy goes, are you in Grandma's Boy? I'm like, yeah. Let's just.
My family flies in and I go, hey, what's going on? And they're like, hey. And I go, and this is real. I'm not joking. I go, God, why did you guys bring all these rabbits? And my sister's like, what? And I go, why would you bring all these rabbits? That's like really nice, but I mean, it's a lot. And she was like, there are no rabbits. And I was like, okay.
And the doctor told me I had a 10% chance of living. And then when I got out and I got better, they had lied to me. I was supposed to be dead. So my family flew in to say goodbye to me.
No.
And they told me that you have a 10% chance. And then my sister was like, yeah, they lied that you were supposed to die.
Are you glad it happened in a way? I know it sounds stupid.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I am glad it happened. And it's weird because it's like a switch just kind of flips, you know, where it was like, oh, like I'm definitely, the same person, but you definitely have a different mindset, of course. I mean, I did almost die. I've almost died a couple times from drinking.
Yeah.
I always if people cared, it always meant something to me. It was never dismissed.
Who was the one? Did Sandler ever say anything? And was he the one you kind of like
Sandler
fuck?
was always concerned, for sure.
Like, what would he say to you?
Yeah, you. No. He would.
This is how you get this shot or whatever. Or
No, he would be like, hey, man, do you want to dial it down a little bit? He would definitely be worried. But, I would always take it and be like, okay. But at the end of the day, I'm living my life.
I didn't have any ego. I just still don't have an ego at all. Like, I've done crazy shit. I've met the craziest people. I don't go like you meet people and you're like, oh no, like they're a fucking asshole. But, so that's one reason, because Adam's like a really down to earth, chill dude.
Yeah.
But so between that and then also my sensibility being part of his, we just clicked, Like, this reminds me of an intro story about when I was on tour. Me, Adam Sandler, Rob Schneider, David Spade, and we're doing a whole Florida leg. And Norm Macdonald was supposed to be there. Norm was one of my best friends in the world, and that was just awful. And he was supposed to be there. And this is a side story. Sorry. The late Norm Macdonald, who was one of my best friends, he had so many great drinking jokes, but one of them he goes, and I'm loosely paraphrasing, but he goes, my uncle's an alcoholic, and my mom was like, yeah, your uncle's, he's got a disease, alcoholism. It's a disease. And Norm goes, well, as far as diseases go, that's a pretty good one. It's like, hey, Uncle Rick, what happened last night? Well, I went out and my disease kicked in. I ended up laughing all night and then had sex with a stranger. And we land in Florida, in Orlando. And we're on a text thread, all of us. And we're like, Norm, we're here. Did you land yet? And he's like, what? And we're like, we're in Orlando. Are you here? And he's like, Orlando? What are you guys doing there? And we're like, we have 4 fucking shows in Florida. And he goes, I didn't know that. And then I go, Norm, you're on the thread. If you scroll up, you say, I'll see you in Orlando. You said that yesterday. And he goes, oh, yeah. Shit. And Adam's like, good God. So he just forgot. And anyway, the point of the story is
The flight, he just didn't get on the flight that was booked.
I don't know. It's Norm. I have a billion Norm stories. But yeah, losing Norm was fucking awful.
Oh, yeah, he was a part of that.
He was one of my really close friends. And, you know, it's just still, that's really hard. And
Nobody knew that he was sick.
No, which was insane. And then Louis Anderson was one of my very, very close friends, and nobody knew he was sick. They both didn't want to tell anybody or bother anybody. That was their thing. They were like, nah, I don't want to bother people. And then at the end of Louis's life, he had said, I should have told people. Like, there was a really close-knit group of people that he was like, oh, I should have told.
Yeah,
Because I got blindsided. I was called on a Tuesday, and he died, I believe, on a Saturday. And it was just like, wait, what the fuck? And Norm, I didn't know at all. I was in Key West in my hotel. I woke up from a nap, and my buddy Todd called me, and he goes, Norm Macdonald died. And I was like, what? And I just dropped the phone and just started sobbing immediately. It wasn't even, I just like couldn't.
Yeah.
And I just hung up the phone. I couldn't deal with it. It like fucked me up.